Is it possible to combine automated parking under the public right-of-way?
Does the parking have to be horizontal? How far vertically can you get?
How noisy are these?
If this were an apartment building and I had my own parking spot, could I monitor my own parking spot?
Do we own the software? In other words, and will it work in perpetuity?
What is the maintenance costs?
You don't use diesel backup generators?
In the event of a big earthquake, is there some way to get all the cars out fast?
Okay. You have it set up with floors, and then you have it set up with the steel. Now, you can do it without the floors, correct? And it can just ride around on the rails?
So that's correct. So AUTOParkit, we don't require concrete floors. Concrete floors are costly.
And unnecessary.
And unnecessary.
Okay, what do you do for shear wall strength to protect these cars in an earthquake so that they stay right where they're supposed to be?
Actually, structural steel buildings are the most efficient in earthquake zones. Concrete is a cementitious material. It has a tendency to crack over time. It'll crack with significant movement in a seismic event. Structural steel does not. AUTOParkit, its systems specifically, are all bolt-together moment frames. They are designed to today's codes, which are actually past. I mean, they're trying to design for 10.0 earthquakes now, to move and flux just like you do the high rises.
Perfect. And for shear wall, you have Xing so that
there's a number of different ways of doing it. Cross bracing is one of the ways.
With steel.
That's correct, with steel. So yes, cross bracing is one. Structural steel moment frames that don't require cross bracing because of the size of the steel and the way that they're put together is another way. But for the most part, because you're moving in a linear fashion, and you're not trying to move in two directions at the same time, you're moving multiple cars on different levels at the same time, diminishing the amount of time that it takes to get your car. You can provide for all of your horizontal and vertical diaphragms to meet all your seismic codes.
What do you do to your steel to keep it from rusting?
We powder coat our steel. So we do have salt air here, and we're working with a number of the beach communities.
Like Santa Monica. Yes, that was my next question.
And in those particular communities, we powder coat the steel frames to mitigate the salt component.
Is it possible to combine automated parking under the public right-of-way? If we could, in other words, a structure, and if we could take space under a street or something as well to add to the number of spaces and footprint?
So yes, it doesn't matter where the land is located, who owns it, and you can hang the utilities if you have sewers or conduits, et cetera, running through it. You can hang that in a level below what your podium would be, which would be the concrete, and then do the parking below.
The noise with these on these above grade, if you could just get us some examples locally of these types of structures that may be adjacent to residential, because our city is a little bit different in that while we have a triangle, we have other areas that abut to residential that may in fact be looking to do this, and certainly I would want to have, and I'm sure my colleagues would want to have the ability and the experience to take a look at something like that.
Would be happy to offer to actually bring you up and let you be in the building when the automated parking is working, because you can't get any closer to residential than that.
Do we own the software? In other words, and will it work in perpetuity? IBM used to get you. They'd sell you the computer, and then the software would be obsolete in 5 years, and then it wouldn't integrate with anybody else. So will this software always be good, or do they get you by the software?
The software is included in the system, and the significant difference between this and technology like your iPhone or like your Microsoft Windows, your computer, the reason you have to upgrade your computer every so often is because all of the software that you buy to use on that requires more memory, more et cetera. In this particular case with automated parking, your system is going to be doing the same thing for 30 years, right?
Exactly.
And in ours, everything is off-the-shelf components. Everything is non-proprietary with AUTOParkit.
Sitting here with my colleagues, I just feel really proud to be sitting here with my colleagues, because I really feel that what is occurring today is a really wonderful step for our community.
I'm fine with these points of consideration and the priorities that you set up. And I thank you for your hard work, because this has really been terrific.
I'm absolutely a fan of automated parking. I think I agree with everybody that we need to move ahead with it.
I do think we should move forward, and I think this is a great opportunity now to figure out how to provide automated parking in a few areas and get that thing up and running and get an understanding of how that might work, because I do think it is, Councilmember Krasny has said, the future is now with these things. It's used all over the world, and we ought to start using them here.